Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Finally.
The Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Who's come back? Give me a hell yeah.
Welcome everybody to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. This is the last edition of laying the Smackdown before WrestleMania. Adam, how are you, my friend? We sit here on the Saturday morning recording this really early for us. It's not even 9 a.m. yet, and I'm back talking pro wrestling with you. But happy WrestleMania Saturday, buddy.
Happy WrestleMania Saturday, sir.
We talk about the last ever Smackdown before WrestleMania. This year's WrestleMania, last ever Smackdown before this year's WrestleMania. The Usos and KO and Sammy kicking off this week's Smackdown. I thought it was a solid start, mate. I mean, I don't know what you thought. It looked to me that like there was maybe a little bit of that promo missing. There was an awkward silence during the middle of it. But again, this was pretty much, we just spoke before we hit the record button. This was pretty much a build Smackdown. There was a couple of good matches in there, like we'll get to in a bit. The Ricochet match, and that was quite good. This is really, really just more build. I suppose they're restricted as well with the Hall of Fame being directly after it. I'm not sure. Before we know, things might have been cut, things might have been had to be rushed. I mean, what did you think of the opening? Again, just a solid build to a tag team match that I'm hoping is main event tonight and night one.
Yeah, solid. It was just it does what it said on the tin. It didn't need anyone it didn't need anyone attacking anybody. I think we just spoke briefly about that, about the other promo later on. Didn't need that. It's had all of that. It's had all of its build. It was just the final. Who's going to walk out? They kind of teased a little bit. You know, Kevin's going to turn on Sammy, which we know. Well, he could do. I doubt it.
Imagine.
It would be about, you know, how many times has he done that over the years? So yeah, it was a good start. Yeah, I think I agree. I think there may have been maybe a muffed up line, or they may have forgotten what they were going to say midway.
Yeah, it was just like an awkward silence. They were waiting for a crowd reaction. The crowd were waiting for them to talk. And everyone was just like,
which one's going to do it?
Yeah, who's cutting the promo here?
Yeah, it was good. It does what it said on the tin.
Yeah, I mean, you any more confident that it's going to main event? Because Charlotte Flair put out a good tweet. I don't know if you saw it. She's saying if the winner of the men's Royal Rumble gets to main event WrestleMania, then why is that not the same for the women? This comes back to kind of what we were saying on yesterday's AEW show when we spoke with Daniel. The women have kind of plateaued. Where do you sit with, not that we've discussed the women, the roster and things, but does Charlotte have a point? Should they main event night one of WrestleMania? Because the men automatically, it's through history. I mean, I don't know a WrestleMania where the main event hasn't really been, apart from obviously when the women did it a couple of years ago. I can't remember back in the days when it was just one night of WrestleMania where, you know, Austin won the Rumble and he didn't main event WrestleMania, or The Rock won the Rumble and didn't main event WrestleMania. I mean, do you think tonight that Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley should headline WrestleMania instead of Sami Zayn and the Usos?
I don't think they should. And I think they've had it in the past when Raw and SmackDown were split properly and they've done the proper, brand splits. Pretty sure there's been a couple more where the Royal Rumble winner hasn't gone on to actually have the last match of the night. They always say it's the main. I mean, they've promoted John Cena as the main event and he's kicking off the show. That's how they've positioned it. So they should. I mean, if you're a traditionalist, yes, she should. I'm more of what I've been invested in, more so, you know, over the last. I mean, Sammy and Kevin and the Usos have been on nearly a year. So I've been more invested in that. They've not done enough for me to invest in the Charlotte Rhea match to me to want it to warrant the headline. Traditionally, yes, it should. I don't personally think it should.
Did the promo with the Usos? It kind of, they planted the seed again that Jay will probably turn against the Bloodline. I can see elements of the Bloodline still being around after WrestleMania, but I think it will be Solo, Jimmy, Roman, and obviously Paul Heyman. I still think that, you know, that promo was good from Sammy. They kind of planted the seed that, look, the Usos are, look, everyone loved you until you sided with Roman. Because we have to remember about this Bloodline story, and if anyone hasn't seen it yet, go on the WWE Network, and they guide you from the start to the finish. I watched the whole 2 hours. I thought it was incredible. They're not showing you all the matches, don't worry. It's just every build-up and every promo. And, you know, if you go back to 2020, the whole start of this was Roman against Jey Uso.
Okay, yeah. Jimmy was injured, wasn't he?
Yeah, Jimmy was injured. It was against Jey Uso. So the full circle of this storyline could happen. Probably going to be tomorrow night. I reckon there's going to be some involvement in the main event. We may see something tonight to tease it a little bit more, but I think it's all leading up to tomorrow night. I mean, do you think that we see I think we're going to see a split in the bloodline. I mean, it's going to be hard for WWE because they're not sure what to do. Apparently, I'm still reading this morning. I had a quick through like the media outlets, and you take it for what it is. But PW Insider reporting that they're not sure if to end this whole bloodline thing, because you think it's been the biggest storyline in pro wrestling since, NWO DX days. Kind of, from that long running Austin McMahon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Put it in that kind of ilk. There's not many of them storylines you could talk about. Me and you can sit here and, you can talk Austin McMahon, you can talk NWO DX Monday night.
You could do Cena Edge to a degree, but it didn't go on as long. Edge
to a degree, didn't go into. Do you think like WWE are probably thinking, oh shit, if we do, don't get me wrong, they're going to have plans Monday night on Raw. They're going to have new superstars coming in. We're going to have new talent coming in. They always call it day one of the new season, the Raw after WrestleMania. Do you think that they're tentatively worried about splitting up the entire bloodline story?
Yeah, I think I think maybe they wasn't expecting it to catch on. Maybe, I don't know, but I certainly think there's going to be some sort of talk internally about, hang on, do they do like an NWO thing where they have two bloodlines? They black and red, white and black. Do they separate Solo and Roman and Jimmy and Jay go on? Does maybe Roman banish two off to SmackDown permanently if they lose the title? So the Usos are just a SmackDown, maybe SmackDown bloodline, and Roman and Solo are Raw. But then you look at the plans later on where they're saying they're trying to make Solo go against Roman at some point. So where does that end up? But yeah, I think there's certainly some trepidation. I think the big part of that is going to be what the ratings do.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I mean, don't get wrong, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania tonight and tomorrow, but Raw's going to be the one for me. I might actually stay up and watch it live and I've got to work on Tuesday. Yeah, but it's going to be a weekend of no sleep. If you think tonight's okay, but I'm actually going out tonight, so I'll get in just as WrestleMania starts. That's going to be. So I'm going to try and make it tonight. I might have to watch it, most of it tomorrow.
I'll be watching it in the morning with my boy.
Yeah, but I'll try and watch it tonight because this second I need to turn off my phone and get the alerts off. We then moved on to the Fatal 4-Way match. Montez Ford, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Eric from the Viking Raiders. Solid, man. We say it. Montez Ford, man.
And Chad Gable. Don't forget
Gable. Man, some of them suplexes. So you talk about Brock Lesnar in Suplex City. Wow. Kenny Omega does it. It is not. I'll probably say you can put Chad in them top three of that style of wrestling. You can tell he's had a wrestling background. Chad, he is very, very underrated. But I know I thought of you while watching that match. It was very trampoliny at times.
They had a lot of spots
when they were dancing and they were doing a lot of backflips, and I thought, oh my god, I
don't mind it to a degree. So the Chad Gable bit was a good bit of comedy, as long as you do it and it's done. Then it's fine. But if you kept on, I was waiting for the Viking Raiders to bust out a moonwalk, and then I probably would have turned off at that point.
I would have turned off my phone. But it hypes this match, the Fatal 4-Way, has gone under the radar at WrestleMania. When you put all the pieces together, like you say, you look at Montez Ford and Ricochet and all the guys, Chad Gable's in that match, and just before you had all their tag team partners in. Yeah, I think this has got the potential. I'm 50-50 on this match. I think it's going to be early on in the card. I don't think it's going to be too late on in the card. Is it? I think it's tonight, isn't it?
Tomorrow. Tonight. Yeah, the women's one's tomorrow. Yeah,
women's one's tomorrow. That has not got me interested whatsoever. The women's match, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I don't know about you, mate, but I'm kind of excited for the Fatal 4-Way match. I mean, it isn't for nothing. It's not going to build towards anything. It's just to put these guys on the card, possibly. Something could happen, like on Montez Ford. A lot of people saying he's going to have a singles run, and and I think this time that we said a couple of weeks ago, write it down. This time next year, me and you are going to talk about when Montez Ford is within WWE. I think he could be. Not Sami Zayn-esque, but if you look last year to this year, Sami Zayn was fighting the guys from Jackass at WrestleMania. Now he's probably going to be in the main event, and he's part of the biggest storyline in wrestling history. He's played such a key role in that whole bloodline. So I think Montez Ford is definitely going to be up there. I hope they don't break up the Street Profits. He's probably going to have him and what's his tag team partner's name?
Angelo Dawkins.
Angelo Dawkins, that's it. My mind went blank early in the morning. They might have a little feud where they could have a match. That's how they usually do it. You know, they're splitting up tag teams. Will it be at Backlash? Will it be at Money in the Bank? You know, who knows? I'm hoping Montez Ford's in the Money in the Bank match.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking about the Fatal 4-Way match tonight at Mania? I think it's got potential to be good, but again, is it a filler match in your opinion, or is it, you know, it's not much. There's nothing on the line. It's just a match at WrestleMania.
It would have had more importance if I know they're calling it a showcase. It would have had it nice if they had said like the winners get a tag team title shot on Raw or something like that. So at least make it a bit more. Maybe they will. I mean, they could still add that stipulation.
Just announce it Monday night, the winners of the Fatal 4-Way. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, very interesting. The Street Profits come out while the Usos were still walking the ramp.
A little look at the end. Yeah, that made me think. Ooh.
Yeah, and Kevin and Sammy were still around. So. You know, and I think because Strowman and Ricochet won the match, it kind of rules them out of winning tomorrow. But there's so many. I mean, Chad Gable is literally the modern day Kurt Angle.
He's from that
He's that good. He is that good. I don't know why.
Does he get lost in the WWE?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like a tumble dry kind of thing. There's so many things in there spinning around, and they kind of like, well, he's over here, and you can say like him, Montez Ford. They're all kind of just there at the minute. Do you ever envision a moment where they're like, right, let's break? I mean, that's how Shawn Michaels started. You know
I don't know. I mean, Montez and Gable are certainly the two out of that. I mean, you know, Dawkins is fine, but he's not got that. He's just not got something there that Montez has. I mean, that Montez has got the charisma. He's got the promo. He's strong. He's quick. He can do, well, as we've seen, he can do amazing things. Gable is just literally. Bring Kurt Angle as the annoying Kurt Angle back when he first started and give him the mouthpiece for Gable and just let them run with that because...
Put Shelton Benjamin in the mix?
You could do, or you could just put the Street Profits in the new formation of the Hurt Business and then just let them be heels and they can still have solos and tag runs in, can't they?
Yeah, no, interesting. Yeah, I hope they do something. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Montez and Chad and everyone after. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal was next. I'm not gonna lie, the first 5 minutes of it, I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. It's just like, imagine that's what the Royal Rumble would look like if no one got eliminated. They were all still in there at the end. Obviously, we kind of knew who was going to win. He kind of had to. Bobby Lashley ends up winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This, like I think you mentioned before we started recording that Bobby Lashley has now issued an open challenge.
Yes,
to someone at WrestleMania. Is it tonight or tomorrow night?
I don't know.
No. I don't know. So I said before we started recording, it'd be interesting to see what you think. I reckon, and only going off crowd reaction at Smackdown, LA Knight could answer that. I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. That pop he got on Smackdown was incredible. He's in LA. It's LA Knight. I get it. I know, but are you thinking that he could get a little push either at Mania because he could answer the challenge against Bobby Lashley and potentially have a good match, or is he another one that we put in that ilk? We're kind of we look. Don't get me wrong, we're all excited for WrestleMania. We can't wait for it, but this is where your mind starts ticking over. Like what's happening on Monday, and then next Friday, and then we've got Backlash, and this is where the quote unquote the wrestling fans will still be here next week. You've got the casual viewers leading up to tonight. We're all still going to be here next week, and my mind's ticking over, thinking, I wonder where this is going to go. I think LA Knight potentially, if WWE are listening, and again, this is only. Do you think he answers the? First of all, do you think he answers the open challenge to Bobby Lashley? But poor old Bobby's been screwed with the whole.
He has.
Wyatt situation at WrestleMania. They've kind of had to segue. I can't see it being too long. That's the only problem because where are they going to segue? This is going to be a long night, mate. It's not going to be a squash match.
No.
We're probably talking 5-10 minutes max. You have to be on the button at WrestleMania. You cannot go a minute over.
No.
Especially we're lucky here. We get to watch it on the network, but this is all Peacock TV. This is all yada, yada, yada. You've got to be right. This is your 5 minutes. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. I mean, Trish Stratus was meant to be on Raw. That got cut. So we've heard in the past the Bella Twins were meant to do things on WrestleMania. That got cut. You have to be so precise tonight. The big matches have to have the time. You think main events. You think the tag team match, Sammy and KO. I mean, where do you see the whole Bobby Lashley, maybe LA Knight thing fitting in? And what do you think potentially? I'm just saying LA Knight. But what do you reckon?
If it's gonna be quick, I don't want it to be LA Knight because I'm not saying it would derail the momentum he's on because he hasn't really won a match. He's just crowd based on crowd reaction. So I don't know. I'd rather it be somebody like new or returning or
The Rock. He's apparently you sent me a good picture of The Rock in his plane. He knew what he was doing with his latest Instagram post, didn't he? For those that don't know, The Rock posted a picture, and in the background, his plane destination was Los Angeles. Now he's The Rock. He probably lives there, goes there all the time. He's probably just going home. But he knew he's not silly. But yeah, Bobby versus whoever.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if, and I know it's going to sound weird because we were saying about his match with Wyatt was off. Wouldn't it be mad if he hosted home and changing a Fiend dances it?
Interesting.
With LA Knight though, I think they're going to. I think he's going to get a really good push from the sounds of it. I would like Money in the Bank this year, and I know it's in London, so I'm probably a bit biased, but I would like it to be 6 competitors that have never been in it before, never been in Money in the Bank, or never won the world title. Because, remember when they done that with Sheamus? He won the match that, I think it was Jesse Ventura, when he was guest host of Raw. They done a match where 6 guys, I think it was, had never won the world title, would go into it, and the winner gets a title shot. And they done it with Sheamus, and he beat Cena in a tables match to win the title. I'd love something like that for them. And then you could put like the Fords, Ricochets, the Gables in it, and it would be, winner gets the title shot. Well, Money in the Bank, obviously.
Yeah, no, well, we're talking UK. It might not be Drew McIntyre because I don't know if you read this morning. Yes. He's apparently not too keen on signing a new WWE contract. It's up literally very soon.
They are way off according to Pro Wrestling.
Apparently, I mean, that'll be a big loss if old Drew don't sign. I bet old Tony Khan's having a little peek around the corner there. And,
like Cody again.
I mean, because if there's no contract signed, they don't have to do that non-compete thing, do they? Where they've got to wait.
No, it's only if they get released, isn't it?
They get released, yeah. So Drew potentially, his contract could end, for example, Monday, and potentially could be on Dynamite on Wednesday. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying they don't have to do the whole 6 months, and then they can compete. But as for just finishing up with Bobby Lashley, I hope he does something good at Mania. Austin could come.
He deserves something. It's just difficult when if it's going to be like Austin. Yeah, if it's going to be like a 5-minute thing, then you don't want it. You don't want it to kill momentum from an active person on the roster. I'm not saying Bobby Lashley should get squashed either. He deserves something, but it's
and he's been so professional with this. You know what I mean? He went in the Royal. He hasn't. Sometimes you hear backstage rumblings of, "Oh, I'm not on Mania. This has happened. I'm taking my."
Who could it be though? Apart from LA Knight, we've already mentioned LA Knight, but who else? Who's in that?
Who is there around right now that hasn't really one of the Brawling Brutes?
Yeah.
But then again, do you want to see that?
No, you want something. It's got to be something special, isn't it?
Someone from NXT, maybe.
Could be a call up. Yeah, they got Stand and Deliver tonight, haven't they?
Stand and Deliver.
Carmelo Hayes. It's Braun Breaker.
Could be Braun Breaker versus Bobby Lashley. There you go.
Carmelo Hayes wins. Someone you got to think of someone that's going to actually give Lashley a match as well, because obviously Lashley
and then have be that instead of having the call up on Raw, you're basically saying at Mania, there you go. And what you'll know is you'll know as soon as that match ends in NXT, you'll be like, oh, he's lost.
It's kind of whoever wins that match, the loser's going up. Yeah. In my opinion, anyway. I think the winner of that, whoever loses that match, is getting called up.
Yeah, you are right, mate. You are right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what they do. We then, I think we had a women's Natty, Baszler, Sonya Deville, Raquel, whatever.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not going to lie, mate. This is early this morning. I was kind of like, I watched it, but mate, I don't mean to be shitting on this, but honestly, I've got no interest in that match. I couldn't care who wins. I couldn't. No. Women's Fatal 4-Way Showcase at WrestleMania. That will probably be. You will see empty seats around that stadium where people are going to concession. It's going to be the old days. Oh, women's match is on. I'm going to have a toilet break.
Probably the weakest match on the card of night 1. Yeah, no, night 2. Isn't it night 2? Sorry.
It's a shame. Night 2, the women. It's a shame because, like, you look at Natalya, it's her 11th WrestleMania now. Yeah. And again, but she's had 11 WrestleManias. How many of them can you remember where you've gone, wow, that was incredible?
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, mate. I love Natty Neidhart, but she's never been used anywhere near as good as she could be in WWE. Anywhere near. She's not talked about in the same ilk as Charlotte and Becky and Trish and Lita and any other Ivory, all them girls that were, during the Attitude Era and even now in the modern day era. Natty, do you think she's just always there? She's a jobber. She'll, so and so's come back from injury. Put her in the ring with Natty. Should be okay, kind of thing. Do you think that she's I don't know, she's just loyal to WWE? I get that. It's her family. Wow, the history, we all know that. But do you think Natty's she's never really got that? She's held a few titles every now and again, but I've never been on the edge of my seat going, oh, a Natty Neidhart match. I don't know. There's something about her that's never really. Don't get me wrong. She's a heart. She's always gonna. She's a good wrestler, quote unquote. She's probably the best. If it comes down to a wrestling match, she's probably the best in the company. But I don't know what you think, mate. I think she's just 11 WrestleManias. It's great, but you've been at a few of them WrestleManias where she's wrestling. I couldn't sit here now and go, oh, do you remember WrestleMania 33 when Natty? I can tell you.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, she probably doesn't get the respect that she deserves, because, as you say, she's probably the best wrestler on that roster, by probably better than some of the men. Yeah. Even. Yeah, I didn't really care for them. I mean, as you say, it's not the one that we're going to be sitting there going, "Oof." And you think of what's on night 2: Hell in a Cell, Cody, Roman. Sheamus. I think Gunther is maybe even night on what card as well.
Night 2 is stacked, mate. Night 2.
Are you thinking like that? Really? Would you? I think you'd be better off putting the men on that one. Again, not being disrespectful, but if you look at that card and you think, as you say, people are going to want to go for a piss break. They're going to want to, go to.
I mean, Ronda Rousey's on it, and you look back 3 years, 4 years, even when she debuted, the buzz around. Don't get me wrong, the buzz around the women's division was strong then.
Yeah, stronger then as it was then.
And you look now, she's in that match, Ronda. No one cares. I think Ronda will be gone from WWE after this. I think she's.
Yeah, I think again.
I think she's done.
Yeah, the comments certainly don't help. I think they might have to do the same thing with if they could do with the men's and say, right, winners get a title shot on Raw, and then that could set up the Trish heel turn, which we know's coming. It's just when. So they could do that.
Me and you are going to look so stupid if that doesn't happen.
Well, it might not happen on Raw or WrestleMania, but
it's happening.
If they're going to go with Becky, I mean, that's the thing. Things can change.
I mean, yeah, like you say, Becky and Lita eventually got to drop them titles, because I can't see Lita doing a full-time schedule anytime unless she said I'll sign a 4-month contract. Yeah, I'm leading. I think they'll drop it at Backlash. I think they'll keep it to them. But I think the turnaround between WrestleMania and Backlash is 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks, it's incredible. 2-3 weeks. It's not much. So they're literally gonna have to get into build. I'm hoping they don't just go into loads of build on Monday and it's rematch. No,
I think it'll be. I think Monday is the reset, isn't it? So we always get that, as you say. There's call-ups, there's returns, and
that's why they haven't called it WrestleMania Backlash this year, because literally was just on repeat. And don't get me wrong, you've had some good matches at WrestleMania Backlash back in the days, but I mean, like you say, call-ups and new storyline, and I'm ready for. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm excited for tonight. It's WrestleMania weekend, absolutely, but I am excited now for Monday and to say, right, okay, especially like with Bloodline and with tag team titles, and who knows what's happening with Cena, or I'm just excited for that whole start opening day of the season. Sheamus. Oh no! Before we get to the Sheamus and Drew bit, the LWO are back, my friend. The Latino World Order. Ray. For those of you that don't know, go and watch some WCW footage with the great late Eddie Guerrero. And the LWO was strong in the WCW days. I popped hard for that this morning. I was like, wow, Latino World Order. Great T-shirt. I'll definitely buy that. www.shop.com. What did you make of Ray? And obviously we had the whole, for those that haven't watched it, not to spoil it, but the whole Hall of Fame. We said, would they put in a storyline? Dominic got up, Rhea, pretty much the whole Judgment Day got up and walked out at the start of Ray's speech. I'm not gonna lie to you, haven't watched all the Hall of Fame yet. Like I say, it's 9:20 on a Saturday morning. But I have seen all quickly scroll through all the clips, and they kind of segued a storyline in there. But the LWO, mate, what did you is that something we're gonna see now? That could be, there you go. They've already launched a potential storyline, or was that just for there and then? Maybe because
it could just be for WrestleMania, couldn't it? Because he said that they've got your back. If Judgment Day, I can't see the Judgment Day getting involved just because
Judgment Day versus the LWO at Backlash. Call
it maybe. But if it's a thing, great. It took me by surprise. I must admit. But when he did pull out the shirts, I was like, I wonder if that's going to be the LWO, just because they're all, great surprise if they're running with it. I mean, great. Rey Mysterio's got a group for the first time since the Filthy Animals.
Mm.
I think that was the last group that he had, the Filthy Animals with Conan, and he did
I
have the
think
LWO,
so.
but I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
back end of WCW was the Filthy Animals. I think that was his.
What
group.
was it? I haven't watched it yet. What was Conan's induction like, or Ray? Oh,
Well, I mean,
I think it looks a little.
Disco Inferno put out there was the shit. It was,
And
I
a
don't
live
know.
mic and all that.
Yeah, he was fine with the live mic. It was just, I don't know. I was expecting something else, and I was kind of disappointed with it. But yeah, the Dominic thing walking out, at least they didn't do any proper interaction.
He didn't run into the ring.
And I wouldn't have liked that. I mean, the fact they just got up and walked out was fine. You know, they got the crowd, called him an arsehole or something else.
And you know for a fact that Dominic was sitting backstage watching that Proud as Punch, watching it.
Oh, you know, and even if it happened.
I haven't seen it all yet. There was some things online. Who from AEW was at the Hall of Fame?
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, he's at the WWE Hall of Fame. What does this mean?" I was like, "Well, yeah, of course he is." You know,
dating Rhea Ripley. That's what it means.
Exactly. I was like, "Hello," and like I was scrolling through social media before we hit the record button. I was like, "Well, hello." Clearly, something. I was like, "Oh my god, what does this mean?" Tony Khan's let him come. I was like, "Hello, have you not know who his girlfriend is?" Same with Charlotte Flair. You know,
Andrade. Yeah,
Andrade. Not that he's doing anything in AEW.
They've got a long list of people.
I don't know how he's contracting it. Are you someone that you could see back in WWE? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I said months ago I'd like to see Charlotte Flair go the other way. If you want to ignite that women's division in AEW, you put Charlotte Flair in there, mate. But yeah, Sheamus and Drew versus Imperium. Kind of knew where that was going to go. You know, obviously they got the win, and Sheamus and Drew had a little face-off at the end. There was a bro kick, there was a claymore, yada yada yada. Are you ready for the? I know you're a big Gunther guy. I think that could steal the show. A night one, night two. Is that night two? Is it? Oh, so yeah,
that's card night two.
Night one's been. Imagine being on night one, you're like, oh.
Well, they've got Seth and Logan, which will probably be the best match on the show on night ones. You know, Cena and Theory ain't going to be bad, but Seth and Logan are probably still night one. I don't know, Gunther. I think they might be outstaged by the Hell in a Cell on night two, and obviously the story of Cody and Roman. But match itself done its job, put over Drew and Sheamus, which you knew was going to happen. Didn't know at the time about Drew's contract, so that could change everything.
A lot of people say now that Sheamus may go over and get the win now because of the whole contract situation. They don't want to maybe give Drew the belt. Gunther could keep it for we know. We're just speculating.
Yeah.
If Gunther is to drop it, and Sheamus may take
Sheamus needs it, right? That's his last belt he hasn't won. Right.
Yeah.
That's what he is. So technically Drew takes the fall. Yeah. Unless you're pushing Gunther to main event, keep the belt. And then if you do push Gunther for the main event, he's not going to take it off Cody straight away or Roman straight away. Or maybe Roman straight away. But he's not going to take it off Cody straight away. They're going to give Cody a run. So I don't want Gunther to then lose in the Continental title and then go against Cody straight away because he ain't going to get the world title, is it?
Yeah, no, true. It's going to be interesting. I'd love to see Drew
that match.
It's going to be a great match, but I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see Drew McIntyre walk out on Dynamite. That would be
very
throwback to the old. Remember when Lex Luger turned up at the show?
On the debut of Nitro in that super
Nitro in
the mall,
biggest mall I've ever seen in my life. And Lex Luger walked out. We're showing our age here, but yeah, Luger walked out, and I think he was on WWE TV like literally a few days before.
Well, Rick Rude was the best one. He was on Raw and WCW on the same night.
Yeah, obviously because Raw was recorded back then, but it happened. That's what I used to like back in the day. You were like, and they kind of teased it when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall turned up at Nitro because they didn't, the curtain call had happened, and a lot of fans. This is long before the real internet days, so everyone was like, oh, there's WWE. But I think that'd be if AEW can pull that off, if it's true that Drew isn't signing a new deal. I mean, he probably will. We hear this all the time, and they'll get it together, and he will. But if AEW, he's one I'd love to see AEW jump on and go, right, they brought in some crap over at AEW from WWE in the past, and it hasn't worked out. Drew on AEW TV, if done right.
It'd be Drew Galloway as well.
Drew Galloway, yeah, exactly. Cody and Roman obviously finished SmackDown, mate. Like you said before we started recording, I was glad it didn't go long. I was glad they can't build this match anymore. It's the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, Cody versus Roman. Is it the end of the bloodline? Is it the last time we see Roman Reigns as Universal Champion in WWE. Good promo. Didn't do his Los Angeles. Acknowledge me. Cody, it's your turn. Acknowledge me. Done. Face off. Last shot, as always, before WrestleMania. It's the two competitors in the ring. Have you enjoyed the build? Are you excited for the match? I'm hoping it's not going past midnight like they sometimes do at these WrestleMania events where the crowd are still there. You have to. This is the only thing with WrestleMania. You've got to keep that. You've been there. You know what it's like. But the last few years, I've spoke to people that have been there, like Andy, the main event, the women's one years ago, Becky and Ronda, and that come on at like 5 past midnight. And you're like, whoa, these guys are in the. But I think the build's done enough for this match. I think it's going to be incredible. I think there's going to be twists. I think you've got Uso, you've got Solo. What do you, if you were having to have a crystal ball and thought how this match would go, do you think we see a clean finish? We've said this before. Roman might not even drop the titles. I mean, I'm still, even though I sit here now, the day of WrestleMania night one, so we're 24 hours away from WrestleMania night, I still couldn't tell you. I want Roman to win. I'm a Roman guy, you know that, but I would not be disappointed if Cody got the titles. I'd be interested to see how they move forward with it, because you've literally relied on this one storyline for 3 years, and now you've kind of got a not segue, because the bloodline in kind of could still be around. But what do you think, mate, as we head into the SmackDown build was good? I think the match is going to be incredible.
I still fully expect Cody to win. But there's the good thing I would say, I think they build it up for Cody to win. But the good thing that I would say is I'm still undecisive. Normally you could go into WrestleMania and you go, yeah, well, he's winning that. And generally, most times out of 10, it's been predictable enough to know, you know, you knew Roman was going over Brock last year. You couldn't have two world championships. Well, we ended up actually did having 2 world championships on a part-time guy in the end, because Roman did end up going part-time, but we didn't know that at the time. And we was all saying, well, Roman's going over because of that. So, yeah, I'm still undecided. I think I agree with you. There's going to be twists. I always like to see clean finishes at WrestleMania. I think that's probably the one pay-per-view where you should get a clean finish, just because it's WrestleMania, it is what it is. As you know, and I was thinking, because the other day, remember we was talking about Christian maybe being on Edge's entrance, just because Tony Khan's maybe giving him permission. Do we see Goldust?
Oh,
do we see Dustin Rhodes on? I don't. I mean, maybe too many. Maybe we're fantasy with this too much. You know, maybe. You know, I'm just thinking because of Cody, and you know, if they've allowed Christian, well, we don't know. We've read it that Christian was allowed. We don't know if that's the case.
He hasn't exactly been on AEW recently, so.
Well, no, because he got buried, didn't he, by Jungle Boy?
Absolutely squashed.
So, you know, and same with Dustin. He hasn't been. I know his daughter's just giving birth, but
his
I mean,
daughter gave birth a couple of days ago. He's on the whole. He's pretty much said this is his last year in wrestling.
Yeah,
he's on like the retirement run now.
Yeah, and Cody, he did mention that his brother texted him, and he was just like, does he get involved? Is there something like? But then does that put the limelight on AEW if he does? Because then it's
and if he gets involved, how does he go back and they don't?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or is he just does he come out at the end? Hug him in the ring.
Maybe hug him in the ring. Maybe he does that. You know, but again, he go off the air with an AEW guy in the ring at WrestleMania. Probably not going to happen. But again, fantasy booking. We talked about Christian, and we were saying about twists and turns. Could that have been something that could have happened? Maybe. Yeah, I'm still undecided. I fully expect Cody to win, but I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know.
And that's a good thing, because that's like you say, you've gone into WrestleMania for so many years going, well, you know, the only time I didn't quite know with Austin Rock, you never really knew.
Austin Rock, you never knew. And but again, that was a lot to do.
But no one ever knew that Austin was having his last, well, it was meant to be his last ever match against The Rock leading into WrestleMania 7? No.
Not 7, right?
17. I was going to say 17. When was Rock Austin? Austin retired.
Oh, was it 18? Wasn't it?
18, 18. Sorry, yeah. I said, I think it was 17 or 18. Yeah, I might have been right, but yeah, no one knew that. Obviously, that was Austin's last match. Austin obviously knew, and he said, "Look, I'm leaving. I'm going out to The Rock." But yeah, leading into this one is Roman Reigns. I mean, like you say, we haven't really seen. We don't know obviously what's happening down the line, but apparently he's not advertised for pay-per-views in this. I don't think we'll see him over in London.
No, but he did say in an interview that as long as WWE are paying him a fat check, he'll be here as long as they need him.
So maybe he could, you know, I haven't heard.
I fully expect him, once he drops the titles, he'll be on hiatus for a while. That's a given. When that is, We don't know.
It depends how long they leave him off for as well. I mean, I'm just literally thinking way ahead now. I mean, we could not see him for. Yeah, we might see him a little bit after Mania, maybe Backlash, and then completely gone out of it. Number 30, Royal Rumble next year. Me and you are in the building.
I want The Rock to do that though. I want someone like The Rock to do, because it'll probably be the last event in America that I ever go to, just because I've done it. I've done what I need to do. So
don't say that, mate. I want to go WrestleMania.
Better bring it to London then.
I've never done it.
I know. But yeah, for the Royal Rumble, I'd want someone, just because, again, selfishness. I'd want someone to go crazy too. You'd pop for Roman, of course you would, but you also want to be there, and like The Rock's, you'd shit yourself, wouldn't you? That's just where you do. And Roman, I probably see SummerSlam time, maybe. But you're right, he might not even turn up to WrestleMania 40. We really don't know. And that's a good thing though. We don't want to.
Do we see Rock or Austin over this weekend at all?
I always say, this is an old cliche, is it? Never say never.
Because some of the surprises that they pulled recently is DX and the NWO. No one saw that coming. No one. And that pop with Ronda getting in the ring for the first time with The Rock.
Yeah.
Was incredible. You can go down the list a lot. Probably, especially the last 3 to 4 years, they've done it more, where they've kept it super see. And I like that, because you need something. We've heard all this great build and we've had rumors, but you need something for the nights of the events.
Yeah.
You need something night one. Last year we got lucky. We had Austin night 1 and night 2.
Yeah, we did.
We had him in a match, and then we had him involved in
KO show, wasn't it? And the stunner. Yeah.
Vince took the worst stunner in the history. Bearing in mind, he's probably took over 1 million of them. He probably took the worst stunner that he's ever taken in his life. But
do we see Vince McMahon over the 2 nights?
No way. Could you imagine?
How about this? How about this for a bit of weird fantasy-ish booking? Vince costs Roman.
Oh.
Because Cody, again,
you've had too many coffees this morning.
2, but yeah, maybe not enough. Maybe I need to start thinking.
Imagine Vince back on. Do you know what? If anyone
didn't come back on TV, but I'm just, just for that.
Oh, that's a whole thing outside of wrestling. If you get Vince back involved in that, that's shareholders, that's TV network, that's TV, that's lawyers scampering towards their notepads.
More allegation cases coming.
Honestly, that's oh my god, ads. That's
but no, I'm intrigued by it. I want to say, as you say, with the internet now, with the dirt sheets now, with people like Meltzer, who does get some. If you're a wrestling fan around this sort of time, and it's difficult for even people like us, you've got to stay off, because we know Randy.
My phone's going as soon as I get in tonight, and if I don't stay up and watch it live, and I'll be up at 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, the Grand Prix on at 6 a.m. I have to segue a lot into tomorrow morning, but my phone will be off. Yeah, you probably won't hear from me till like late morning, early lunchtime.
Me too. But because we already know Randy Orton's there, but we know that he's not cleared, so that's ruled way out, unless that's a work that he's
Randy Orton is cleared. Yeah.
Then we know that he may come back, but he's not gonna get physical, so we can rule potentially.
What about what's his name? Randy Orton's
Riddle.
Is he?
I think that's going to be left until after. I think
I could see him on a Smackdown.
I think it's going to still stick with Raw. This is reading stuff, and this is this time of year reading stuff is always up in the air. Anytime you read something like this,
especially about wrestling.
Yeah, I think they've made a picture.
Always makes me laugh. All these rumors about a scripted show. You know what I mean? There's only there's a handful of people that sit in that writer's room. I'd love to know if they just sit there with their phones going, oh, have you seen this rumor? And they're just like, you know what I mean? It must be.
Let's build that.
Yeah, let's build that. But mate, it's going to be good. Like you say, so we sit here recording this Saturday morning. We've got NXT this afternoon.
Early,
time. Yeah, I think 4 or 5 o'clock for us.
And look, you haven't watched NXT, fine, but
the pay-per-view
they always knock it out the park at
pay-per-views. Yeah, they do. I'm going to try. Mate, as you know, me and you are big non-league football fans. I'm off to football today. You are probably off to football today. But we've got NXT, we've got WrestleMania night 1. We had Ring of Honor last night, which
best wishes to Dante Martin. If you haven't seen it, it looks disgusting. I know we're talking SmackDown, but
think Sid Vicious
that is Scott Steiner. Yeah, it was horrific, and we don't like to see that sort of stuff anyway. No. Anyone getting injured, we don't like. But hopefully it's not as serious as well. It is with the way you look at it.
Yeah.
hopefully he's always getting injured, and that goes back to that point we were talking about yesterday about injuries in AEW. But yeah, just best wishes to him. Hopefully he can get the surgery done and he'll be back when he can, because that was a bit of a horrific one. And obviously congratulations to everyone in the Hall of Fame. All 4 people, 5 people.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a thing moving forward now with the whole
time limits, probably
time limits, and no, I mean, you're gonna have to put The Rock in eventually. You're gonna need a big bloody time limit to let him. He ain't. You can't put him in and like, hurry him up off the air on Peacock. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. 4 people in the Hall of Fame. Don't get me wrong, Ray deserves to be. Stacey Keebler deserves. Everyone, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but you deserve a bit of time as well. You've given everything to this business and this company. I don't want someone giving me the hurry up because Peacock's got to go off the air. Oh, this will continue live on WWE Network. You know what I mean? Especially next year, like you say, WrestleMania 40. The Rock, if he don't go in next year, I'm going to be amazed. If Batista goes into the Hall of Fame before The Rock, you're going to need a bleep
would have
machine.
been.
You're going to need a bleep machine for this podcast because it's
need it anyway.
We do kind of need one anyway. But I will cut a fucking promo on WWE because they can't do that. But NXT tonight, WrestleMania night 1, WrestleMania night 2. We are back on Monday. I'm not going to see you for 48 hours.
How are you going to cope?
I don't know, mate. I'll face to
I have some new merch to show you Monday.
Oh, okay. I'm
in today, hopefully.
Okay.
You will see some new merch.
I'm looking forward to that. Hit us up if anyone wants some of these hitting the turnbuckle hoodies that myself and Adam are sporting. Hit us up. We'll tell you where you can go and get some, or we can send you a link. Check us out on Twitter at HTTBuckle. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube. Just type in hitting the turnbuckle into
You need to shout out because we're going to get in big shit if we don't shout this out. So just quickly, obviously we booked Sal Ronaldo from NWA. We've now also got Jeremiah Plunkett from NWA coming on the 21st of April, but any of that would not be possible without Fiona from Inside the Ropes. Nothing. I didn't ask her to do it. I was talking about episodes. I said, your episode's up, done really well. And she said, are you still looking for guests? I said, well, we're always looking for guests. We'd love guests on here. She goes, would you be interested in the NWA guys? Yeah, absolutely, we would. Do you, and her message was, do you want me to put the feelers out to the guys at NWA? Because she's got a great relationship with them. And she did. She took it off her own back. She done it, and she set this all up. And I forgot to mention it yesterday because we were running short on time. Fiona, big shout out to you. She will be on at least one of those shows. So
we can't do NWA without Fiona. She's like the oracle.
She's the guru.
She's the guru, the queen of NWA. That woman watches more NWA than I watch EastEnders, and I watch a lot of that.
What's EastEnders?
Oh, it's like think WWE, but in Albert Square. Big shout out to Fiona. She's
Eric Rowan on Monday, of course.
Eric Rowan is our guest on Monday. What a person to review WrestleMania with. A man that's been at WrestleMania. He's taken a Rock.
Was he the one the Rock beat?
The quickest man. Let's not have a WrestleMania moment. And Rock rips off his trousers and the crowd.
I'd love to see how he felt about that.
That'll be.
It was a rub anyway.
That'd be amazing. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, you're going to have a segment with the Rock at WrestleMania. It's going to last 5 seconds, but it's going to be incredible. Yeah, people forget about that. That's a great quiz question for years to come. How many WrestleMania matches has The Rock had? But Ads, let's do this all again on Monday, mate. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy all the wrestling content. NXT, WrestleMania. I've still got to watch AEW Rampage. That kind of got lost in the I would have watched
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I'll watch it, mate. But Ads, I will catch you Monday, mate. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll do it all again.
We will.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast, our 1000th episode of the week. Till next time, everybody, stay safe.